Got to give the people what they want. Back, Mr. Bass. I got this song queued up for y'all at the end of this video. For sure, it's the same day. I'm ready to go. So we got a much quicker one, I think, than last time. So let's talk a little bit about graphing inequalities. Get it done. So, graphing inequalities. Okay? Before we start anything off, keep in mind, with graphing inequalities, okay? So, when graphing inequalities, I always want my variable x, y, z, whatever my variable is, to be on the left side of the inequality, because the inequality will point the same direction that my graph needs to point. Okay? So in graphing inequalities, I don't need to repeat that. You see it, you got it. Haha, tripping. And so make sure that you get that down. Pause, take a breath and go for yours. On my command, now hit the dance floor. That's from 91. See, ooh, I'm not even gonna get into that old school. All right. So, that's one thing about graphing inequalities. So, let's just take it. I think we're just gonna learn this one by doing it. After you get that idea, you should be all right. So let's start off with something like x is less than or equal to 7. Here's what you need to know. First, you need to know what the signs and the dots, okay? So, inequality signs and their graphed dots. Alright? So if you get the greater than sign or the less than sign, both of those are an open dot. Okay? So you make a dot that's open. It's not filled in. The reason why is if x is, let's say, greater than 7. X is some number bigger than 7. Does 7 count? No, it does not. Okay? X is anything bigger than 7. So x could be 7.1, 7.2, 8, 9, 10. But it can't be 7. So 7 is not actually included in the part of x is greater than 7. That's why I keep that dot open, because it shows me that where this dot is, it's not included. So let's keep this in mind right here. So if I go x is greater than 7, what you need is, there's important things on the number line. You need a number line. You need to tell me where is 0. You always need 0. And then you need to tell me, okay, 7 would be somewhere over here. You don't have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just need 0, and I need the number where it would be according to 0. So now, this thing says x is, let's change this, erase this right now. So it's going to say x is less than 7. So x could be 6.8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice this thing points this direction. So my graph is going to point this direction. But this only works because x is on the left-hand side. Pointing this direction, 7 is my key number. 7 is not included, so this dot is open, telling me 7 doesn't count, but everything less than 7, because x is less than 7. Okay? Pretty simple. So now, we have this other thing, when we have greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Those things give me a closed dot. Okay, so let's talk about that. X is greater than or equal to -5. All right? So, if I'm doing this, here's 0, negative 5 would be somewhere back here. Now notice, it's pointing in this direction. X is all the numbers that are bigger than negative 5. So all the numbers that are bigger than negative 5 are over here. So I'm pointing this way. But now it says greater than negative 5, but it can also be equal to negative 5 because it has the equal sign under it, which is why I need to close this dot that tells me, hey, negative 5 is a part of this graph as well. Okay? So negative 5 counts and everything bigger or greater than negative 5. Okay? So open dot, closed dot is the one thing that you're going to have to remember. So look at this next one. It says x is less than or equal to negative 27. You graph that right now. Hopefully you just did. You said, okay, well, I need this. I need a 0. Negative 27 would be way down here. X is everything that's less than negative 27, smaller than. Notice this points, this literally points like an arrow. It points this way. So my last question is this dot open or closed? Is X included in this graph or not? Since it says equal to, it's included, meaning it's a closed dot. There's your graph. Okay? This is not that bad. All right. My next one. X is greater than 4. Graph that, please. You got it. All right. 0 is important. 4 is important. X is all the numbers that are bigger than 4, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So X is going this way, which is also the way that this arrow points. And is 4 included in this inequality? It says it's greater than 4, not equal to 4, so it has to be bigger than 4, meaning I need an open dot. That's all this is. That's all you need to know about this. Right? There's one last thing before I give you a little love stories. It says, when you get this, negative 7 less than or equal to x. This is a problem. You never want to graph an inequality. Put a star next to this. I'm going to go ahead and erase this right now. It's going to say, never graph an inequality with the variable on the right side. Never graph this inequality with the variable on the right side like that. Flip the inequality. Make sure that the sign continues to point at the same number or variable. Okay? This is a key. So in this case, okay, I don't want to graph this because if I do it like this, this thing is going to point in a different direction than I need my graph to go, and it becomes confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over. So I'm going to say this is it, or I could also call this this. X goes on this side, negative 7 goes on this side. But where people mess up is, notice this is pointing at negative 7, so it still needs to point at negative 7. I can flip it over however I want, as long as this thing points at the same thing. So now when I get this, I go, oh, here's 0, here's negative 7, it's pointing this way, it's a closed dot, done. You always want to flip it around. So this last one, I would like you to do on your own as well. Flip this one around however you need to do it and graph it. It says x is That's negative 26 plus greater than or equal to x. Flip that graphic. Do it. Last thing. All right, let me check my time. Sweet. Here it is. So, for all you lovers, I wrote this one back in the day when my heart was sad, you know. Love stories instead of drug stories. It all goes down at once instead of the light flurries. Never happens if you push it in a hurry. You know it's meant to be, but in mind you still worry. I had a girl in my eyes, she was worthy. Like James, we had flames, but in the end she tried to curve me. Straight and narrow, I came like an arrow, but honesty will get you shot down just like a sparrow. With BB guns, young kids do it for fun. I thought that she was it, but learned she ain't the one. Got blazed once, but you can't burn out the sun. You gotta take a chance, cause if you don't, life is done. Bass for the lovers out there. I hope it touched your hearts.